Not only did these two fail in terms of cultural appropriation, but they also failed in terms of creating a film that was a financial bomb. So why would you let these two people work together again on a project like this? Hi, welcome to Fudanshi, where I share LGBTQ and BL Media, the news, reviews, and good conversation. My name is Devin Randall, and welcome to the weekly update where I share LGBTQ and BL Media news. Anything from casting announcements in Hollywood, and we have a doozy of one today, to upcoming BL video games, manga, and more. So let's get talking. First, a new web series is coming out this month and it seems very cool. It's essentially a web series about a bunch of 40-plus-year-old gay men in New York City and kind of about just like aging. Specifically, the series follows a group of friends who would meet strangers on the Hell's Kitchen sidewalk and have sex in less time than it took to climb the 4 flights up to their apartments. But now, past 40, they're all wondering what they want for the long haul and questioning whether they can still make it up those stairs. So it seems like a fun little comedy that's coming out at some point this month. They haven't given a specific day. In addition, if you want to check it out, you can check it out on west40s.tv, link in the description. Oh, and of course there's also a trailer out, link to that in the description as well. Second, there's also a trailer for an upcoming film that was celebrated earlier this year at arts festivals. The film called We the Animals is based off of a memoir, a book by the same name, which was semi-autographical by Justin Torres. The story follows a family living in upstate New York, 2 parents and then 3 sons. Specifically, the film follows Jonah, who is the youngest son. Jonah likes to record his life with his parents and 2 brothers in a journal. As time goes by, Jonah watches his brothers turn into 2 different iterations of his young and volatile parents. Meanwhile, Jonah realizes that he sees the world differently than the rest. His sexuality and heightened imagination not only sustain him, but also ostracize him. If that sounds cool to you, the film will be coming out in US theaters in August 17, and then of course in a few selected spots globally as well. In addition to that, if you guys are interested in checking out a trailer for this film, link in the description. Next, we have to talk about Scarlett Johansson. So Scarlett Johansson, if you don't know her, first of course her biggest role is Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One thing that she is most infamously known for doing is the Ghost in the Shell film adaptation that came out like 2 years ago or so, which failed terribly, and a lot of fans kind of still have beef with Scarlett Johansson because of that. So then, yesterday or the day before, it was announced that she would be producing and starring in a film called Rub and Tug. Yes, that's the actual film name. It's actually going to be a mob drama, and the main character, played Dante Tex Gill, was a real-life person who was born as Lois Jean Gill, but was a trans man who eventually transitioned and also just happened to be a mob boss. So a lot of people on Twitter were not happy when they found out that Scarlett Johansson was doing this. A bunch of people just stormed Twitter basically just to hate on her so much. In reaction to all this hate that she was getting on Twitter, Johansson's rep talked to Bustle and provided them with a comment. Apparently Johansson said, "Tell them that they can be directed to Jeffrey Tambor, Jared Leto, and Felicity Huffman's reps for a comment," noting that these people are cisgendered people who have played transgendered roles before. But here's the thing, people were upset then too. So Scarlett Johansson saying this of like, look at them, they did it, so don't be mad at me, be mad at them. Not only is that kind of like just pushing off the blame, but also it's just wrong because people were upset when these cisgendered people played trans roles. It's not like this is just a sudden thing. It was revealed that Scarlett Johansson is working with a director, the same director who created the Ghost in the Shell film. Not only did these two fail in terms of cultural appropriation, but they also failed in terms of creating a film that was a financial bomb. So why would you let these 2 people work together again on a project like this? And then already out of the jump, out of the gate, people are upset about it. So it's just like, it feels like this wouldn't be a smart deal for executives, but it's apparently on the moves. We'll see how the film goes in its production. Lastly, for our Queer Quota, which is actually about a girl's love story, there is a Yuri anime coming out soon. This was actually brought to my attention by Joichi Maki. Want to give a shout out to the Queer Fudanshi follower, I guess. This anime will be the anime adaptation of an English version of a manga titled Yagate Kimi ni Naru, or Bloom Into You. Essentially, the story follows Yu, who is a major lover of shoujo manga, and because of that, her perspective of what love should be is distorted, and then she ends up getting confessed to by a man, one of her classmates, and she thinks, this isn't right, this isn't it. So then she goes into high school. She meets this upperclassman named Nanami, who is like the class president, the head of the student board, and she kind of admires this person. And then Nanami turns around and is like, you, I love you. And this becomes a romance after that. I've actually read this manga for Fudanshi, link in the description to that review post, and I really liked this manga, just its first volume. I really liked it, so I'm looking forward to this anime. The anime will be premiering in October of this year, so look forward to it. Next, let's get on with our BL bits, and the first is about Yuri on Ice. This was actually brought to my attention by another QF follower, Champ Butch, so shout out to them. Specifically, there was a live viewing of a concert performance for the Yuri on Ice soundtrack last week. So at the end of that live stream, they released the teaser for the upcoming Yuri on Ice film, and it also gave us the kind of idea of what the film will actually be about. Yuri on Ice, Adolescence will actually specifically follow Victor's childhood. We saw in the original anime the childhood of Yuri, but now we get to focus on Victor's childhood and kind of like how he became the man that met Yuri and fell in love with him. So that's all we know so far. There is a teaser, of course, but it's a teaser, so like there's nothing. And they haven't announced a release date yet. They're just saying like, hey, we're working on it, it'll come out eventually. Next, Sound Cadence Studios made an announcement saying that they're releasing 2 English dubbings of BL anime. They announced that they're dubbing the OVAs to This Boy is a Professional Wizard and This Boy Suffers from Crystallization. They are getting official English dubbing, so that's something to celebrate. They haven't announced when they will release these English dubbed OVAs. That said, they have at least announced that they're working on it. They've announced the staff and cast that worked on these projects, and links to that in the description. Next, JustUSA has announced that they're officially working on Nitro+Chiral's video games. If you don't know, I believe I talked about JustUSA at some point in the last month or two, but anyway, they are a video gaming company that basically translates official Japanese games, visual novels, RPGs, so on and so forth. And they announced like a month or two ago that they were creating a BL subsection of the company, JustBlue. They, at that time, announced that they were working on Sweet Pool with it, which is a Nitro+Chiral video game. Now they're announcing that they're working on other visual novels by Nitro+Chiral. If you don't know, Nitro+Chiral is like a famous/infamous video game or BL visual novel company. They've released wonderful games like Togainu no Chi, Elemento, Beyond the Void, Dramatical Murder, Sweet Pool, and more. And they're usually the kind of game that will have lots of sex, lots of romance, lots of adventure, and also a lot of violence. It's those actual games that they have announced that they will be working on. They've already announced Sweet Pool, and they said it's coming out soon. Still no release date. But they have also announced that now they are going to be working on Togainu no Chi, Elemento Beyond the Void, and Dramatical Murder. These are all very popular games in the BL world, even here in English, because a lot of translators ended up translating these games unofficially, but now we will have the official translations for us English readers to enjoy and play and support. But again, no release date has been stated, so it's just more like, this is upcoming, look out for it. Lastly, just a heads up on like what manga you should be checking out or be looking forward to. Specifically, SuBLime Manga has their whole list of all their new releases for the rest of the year, and you can already pre-order any of this manga. So I'm just gonna list them off here, and if you guys are interested in pre-ordering them, links in the description. First, in this month, July, The World's Greatest First Love Volume 10 is going to be released. Then in August we have the release of A Strange and Mystifying Story Volume 4 and The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window Volume 5. In September we have Escape Journey Volume 1 and Don't Be Cruel Volume 7. In October we have Coyote Volume 1 and The World's Greatest First Love Volume 11. In November we have A Strange and Mystifying Story Volume 5 and The Boy Can't Help It one shot. And lastly, in December, we have Escape Journey Volume 2 and 10 Count Volume 6. So if you guys are interested in any of those manga, you can pre-order them now and then you'll have them come to your home during the month when they are released. And that is it for this weekly update. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about any of these news stories and more. What do you guys think about this controversy around Scarlett? What do you guys think about this upcoming Yuri anime? Are you going to buy any of those Yaoi manga from SuBLime that I talked about? Let me know and let's get talking. And as always, queer Fudanshi tries to share LGBTQ and BL Media for news, views, and good conversation. Bye. To upcoming BL games or BL manga and more. So let's get talking. Anybody else hear that? Did anybody else hear that weirdness?